Okay, let's get real for a second. We're told that money makes the world go round, but for most of us, it feels more like it's spinning out of control. It's the palpable anxiety of checking your bank account late at night and the silent stress of a budget that feels more like a fantasy than an actual plan. So let's talk about it. The financials. We're all just wanderers in this massive, confusing maze of numbers, desperately hoping to find a clear path to the exit before we run out of time and resources. And that feeling is exactly why adulting constantly forces us to choose between what we need and what we want. The brightly lit, fun, and spontaneous path filled with concert tickets and weekend trips versus the responsible, deeply boring one that leads to, not being evicted and having food in the fridge. This whole financial struggle feels less like building a fortune and more like a heroic act of survival, a constant, fragile attempt to keep this one tiny, vital thing alive with the few precious drops we have left. But it's not just money, because let's talk about the soul-crushing reality of the 9 to 5 or the 24/7. Career burnout isn't a myth. Instead, it's that feeling of running on a high-tech hamster wheel, constantly moving at full speed, but somehow getting absolutely nowhere. It's that imposter syndrome that whispers you're a fraud, and on top of that, it feels like we're just trying to hold up a fake version of ourselves while our arms are getting tired and our souls are getting crushed under the weight of expectations. It's the desperate feeling of being on a tiny island of hope in a vast digital ocean of resumes, knowing you're just one more application floating away into the abyss. And it's the impossible tightrope walk of trying to balance work and life without falling off, ultimately leading to that sense that the to-do list wall you're trying to build always seems to come crashing down. And while we're out there juggling these bills and deadlines, there's another battle happening entirely, one that's internal and often unseen. This is for the moments you feel completely alone in a crowded room, isolated inside a personal bubble you can't get out of, no matter how much you try. It's for the anxiety that's a tangled knot in your stomach that you patiently try to untangle, and for the frustrating process of setting boundaries that feel like building a delicate glass wall with your bare hands. It's the chase for inspiration, feeling more like trying to catch a firefly in a dark room, all while that secret vision of your confident self in the mirror is just waiting to get out. Finally, enough with the big stuff, because let's talk about the true final bosses of adulthood, the mountain of laundry you are destined to climb every single week, the small, absurd battles, like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube where every side is a different, unrelated task. It's the ridiculous, mundane challenge of having to make a phone call that feels like watering an ancient, forgotten plant just to get it to work, all as your brain is having a full-blown digital storm of worries, to-do lists, and existential dread that you can't seem to control. Ultimately, nothing screams, "I'm an adult," more than the frustrating rite of passage that is trying to assemble a piece of flat-pack furniture with instructions so confusing they must have been written by someone who has never experienced a single moment of frustration in their entire life. So, after all of that, what's the big takeaway? Maybe adulthood isn't about solving every puzzle and climbing every mountain. Maybe it's about accepting that the chaos is part of the process. Your resume ocean isn't a sign of failure. It's proof that you're still looking. Your anxiety knot isn't a weakness. It's a reminder to be patient with yourself. This adulting playbook isn't a step-by-step guide to a perfect life, because that doesn't exist. It's a compass for your messy, wonderful journey, reminding you that as long as you're moving forward, even one tiny step at a time, you're doing it right. And that, my friends, is enough.